Welcome to our free course on self-healing. I'm Patricia, and I'm here with my husband, Jason. Today, we're talking about how to get started with our self-healing course. Before we get started, Jason, can you explain why self-healing is so important?
Today, we're recording this in July of 2020, and this is the height of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, and there are no treatments, there's no prevention, there's no vaccine, there's nothing you can really do. There's so many unknowns, there's nothing you can really do.
Exactly.
So without any help from traditional medicine, you need this. Self-healing becomes very, very important because it's your first most important part of healing anyways.
Well, okay. Tell us about the article you read.
There was an article that I just read that said the antibodies may not last that long. They really don't know how long the antibodies last. So if you do get infected, it doesn't necessarily prevent you from getting infected again. There's a lot of evidence about long-term side effects.
And that's really, all of this is really, really scary.
Right. And even with long-term side effects, they don't have a treatment for that.
Exactly.
They talk about cognitive problems, breathing problems, organ problems.
Wow.
It covers the whole gamut.
Exactly.
So self-healing is natural to the way you're designed.
Okay. So self-healing is natural and organic to the way that humans are designed.
I think it's very arrogant to choose traditional medicine, which puts aside self-healing when you have self-healing as sort of basic equipment that you were born with. This isn't new. Self-healing is something that you were born with. It's organic to you. It's natural to you. But here's the best part.
Okay.
Even if you're doing traditional medicine or if you're choosing an alternative medicine.
Okay.
And you'll hear our stories. We know about this stuff, okay?
Right, we do.
You can add the self-healing part, and it always adds value to whatever you're doing, whether it's traditional medicine or alternative medicine.
And one of the things that we found is that with the ecosystem approach and, of course, self-healing, we found that we have the ability to understand traditional medicine and then other practices even better.
In a way, and how it affects you personally.
Exactly.
And that's the key.
Exactly.
You can also use self-healing to keep yourself out of the medical profession or alternative
Right.
alternative medicine in the first place.
Right. Okay. So, Jason, where's the best place to start?
We have over 6 hours of podcasts and information. It sounds like a lot, but before that scares you off, this isn't like a regular course. It's not where you have to take notes and just kind of force yourself to listen to every single one in order. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Think of our courses as more like a meditation. Listen to it while you're doing something else. Listen to it while you're walking. You don't have to even pay attention that much. And our every show that we do, every podcast that we have 6 of them. There's clearings at the end. Do those over and over again. We've also taken some of the clearings out and make them into a short little 6-10 minute segment that you can use. That's very abbreviated.
Okay.
And one thing about the clearings is they're cumulative. So
I love that.
Do it once, doesn't work. As you think, if I can feel it, maybe a little bit, whatever.
Okay.
Do it again.
Yeah.
And do it again.
Exactly.
We've been doing this for 20 years. We keep doing it every single day, and it's part of our routine. We wouldn't think about having a day without clearing.
Exactly. So if you're healthy now, start with self-healing in part 1.
If you've been diagnosed with COVID-19 but you feel okay, start with coronavirus part 1. And if you have symptoms that are pretty serious, maybe you can't get out of bed, you're really tired, you can start with the clearings. Just go right to the clearings and start doing them over and over again. Here's the other thing. This self-healing can be done with a loved one, can do it on your behalf. I did this for Patricia when she was in the hospital with her heart valve.
Right.
If you go to our self-healing part 1, we tell about all of our stories and how these things have affected us. So, I think you'll find that very interesting. But what's really neat is I know that if something happens to me, if I get sick, if I'm in the hospital, she's going to be working on me.
You bet.
And vice versa.
Exactly.
So we know that already.
Well, okay. So once you've started, let your intuition and your imagination loose. Just choose a show, just choose a topic based on what feels good to you.
So you don't have to do part 1, part 2, part 3. You can start, I'm going to start with part 3. I'm going to start with the second part of part 3.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. They're 12-minute segments. So even though one show may be 45 minutes, 48 minutes, something like that.
Sure.
You can do one segment at a time.
Okay.
And then come back to it.
Okay.
And maybe you want to hear that segment again. No
Right.
problem.
Well, and you don't have to listen to a whole show in one sitting. And, in fact, the 12-minute segments are there. You can listen to one at a time or half at a time. It's okay.
Exactly.
In other words, taking in the information, that's the part that's really, really, really important.
If you have a question, send us an email at hello@theecosystemapproach.org. It's right there up the top of the website. You can see it.
Want to say that one more time for everybody?
hello@theecosystemapproach.org.
Okay.
And remember, you're the most important ecosystem in the world.